Perhaps the most urgent moment in his address came when Macron confronted the global failure to adequately respond to the climate crisis. Emmanuel Macron said, "Climate change is not under control. The collapse of biodiversity continues. The efforts most of us are prepared to make are blocked by the cynicism of a few who could make the difference but still refuse to do so." This statement struck a chord with many developing nations, which have long argued that wealthy industrialised states bear the heaviest responsibility for climate change, but remain reluctant to act decisively. Macron's emphasis on the cynicism of a few drew clear attention to those countries blocking ambitious targets or backtracking on commitments. Macron's address also served as a way to underline France's role as a bridge between blocs at a time when both Washington and Beijing are increasingly entrenched in their rivalry. While Trump's fiery speech highlighted unilateral US positions, Macron's carefully worded appeal sought to reassure smaller nations that France values compromise and inclusivity. By explicitly rejecting a zero-sum approach, Macron positioned himself as a defender of dialogue. His choice of words, respectful relations between peers, was aimed at reassuring middle powers and developing nations that France opposes domination by a handful of states. Observers noted that the sharp contrast between Trump and Macron at the UN General Assembly illustrated the widening philosophical gap among world leaders. Trump, speaking earlier, had attacked international institutions as burdensome, ineffective and hostile to US interests. Macron, in turn, argued that these same institutions remain indispensable, even if they require reform. For Macron, the choice is stark. Either the international community works together to solve global problems, or it risks descending into chaos where only the strongest prevail. His repeated warnings about selfishness and cynicism carried a moral edge, reflecting France's long tradition of presenting itself as a guardian of international law and cooperation. While Macron spoke, the hall remained attentive, with delegations from Europe, Africa and Latin America showing visible approval at his emphasis on cooperation. Some Asian and Middle Eastern delegates appeared more reserved, perhaps wary of France's positioning amid shifting alliances. The timing of Macron's speech, following Trump's combative remarks and before other leaders, including Lebanon's Joseph Aoun, took the stage, ensured maximum visibility for his message. The contrast could not have been sharper. One leader dismantling the value of global institutions, the other warning that without them the world risks the law of the strongest.